In this video, we are going to be bridging the gap between the math covered in the last 3 videos, which includes Newton's universal law of gravitation, ordinary differential equations, and ODE solvers, and how to apply those equations into Python to create orbital mechanics simulations. So this means that we are going to be implementing Newton's universal law of gravitation as a two-body ordinary differential equation function, and the fourth order Runge-Kutta equations into the RK4 step function to propagate orbits numerically. And if you stay till the end, I'll show you how to navigate the Github Repository for this channel and how to run the scripts that we're going to go over in this video. This is the 4th video in the series, and in this one we'll be going over how to apply the ordinary differential equations in Python in order to create orbital mechanics simulations, where the most important part of this video will be to understand how we can solve second order differential equations, which is Newton's universal law of gravitation, using first order ODE solvers, which are RungeKutta methods. And if you haven't seen it already on this channel, I have the space engineering podcast and videos in Spanish. We'll start with a quick review of Newton's universal law of gravitation and how we're going to plug it into Python. So this equation tells us how to calculate the acceleration vector of a spacecraft given a position vector from the central body. And this is a second order differential equation because the output, which is acceleration, is a second derivative of position. And the goal here is to calculate position vectors over time, so we are going to have to integrate twice to achieve this. Next, we'll review the Runge-Kutta methods of solving ordinary differential equations, and it's important to understand that the Runge-Kutta methods are first-order ODE solvers, meaning that they can only do one integration at a time. So given some acceleration, they can calculate a velocity, and given some velocity, they can calculate position, but they cannot directly calculate position only given an acceleration because that's 2 integrations, where the Runge-Kuttas can only do one at a time. So these equations on the left are the general equations for the Runge-Kutta fourth order method, and on the right are their corresponding applications to our orbital mechanics problem. So in our case, F here represents Newton's universal law of gravitation, which is our differential equation, which outputs accelerations. So in our case, these k values are actually going to be acceleration vectors. So k1 is the first estimate of the acceleration, k2 is the second, so on and so forth, until we get to the weighted mean of accelerations, where the kw mean is actually the acceleration weighted mean for us. And here, the most important part to understand is why Runge-Kutta solvers are first-order ODE solvers. So to calculate the next velocity given the acceleration weighted mean, we simply multiply that value by the step size, and recall that this responds to calculating the area under the acceleration curve. So in this case, the step size has units of seconds, and the acceleration has units of kilometers per second squared. So if we take a look at the units equation, we see that when we multiply step size times the acceleration weighted mean, this corresponds to multiplying seconds by kilometers per second squared, which gives us kilometers per second, which is velocity. So by multiplying by the step size, we have done one integration. So we've calculated the next velocity given its derivative acceleration. But notice that we only calculate velocity here, but what we really want is the next position. So then how are we able to solve this second order differential equation with a first order ODE solver? And I encourage you to pause the video here and think about this a little bit because the next slide is going to go into how we're able to do this. In order to solve a second order differential equation with a first order ODE solver, we must add the intermediate variable to our state vector, which in this case is velocity. So first we need to define what we mean by state vector, and a state vector here refers to all the variables that describe the system we are propagating. In our case, position and velocity would describe our spacecraft, but later on we will be adding other variables like mass, attitude quaternions, and angular velocities to the state vector. But note that in order to have a variable in our state vector, we must be able to calculate its derivative so we can propagate it forward using a method like Runge-Kutta. So instead of our state vector only being position, which as we saw in the last slide would not be sufficient, we now add velocity to it. And this is also necessary because we cannot fully describe an orbit by just a position vector. So notice here on the plot on the right, all of these orbits have the same initial position vector, but they all have different initial velocity vectors, which leads to very different results for their orbits. So now let's get to the derivatives. In our case, the derivative of position is velocity in the x, y, and z directions, and the derivative of velocity is acceleration, again, in the x, y, and z directions. We can calculate our acceleration from Newton's universal law of gravitation, as we already seen, and we actually already know the velocity from our state vector from the previous step, so we can pass those straight through. So that's a kind of a neat little trick that we can do with ODE solvers, which I'll explain more in the next slide. So now that we've established our state variables and their derivatives, we can plug them into a function in Python called two-body ODE, which as an input takes in the current time in the simulation and the state, and outputs the derivatives of our state. And notice that we actually just pass the velocity values straight through to the output here. And finally, we can start to put everything together in order to propagate an orbit and start making orbital mechanics simulations. So to review, we have our states, which are position and velocity, and the derivatives of our states, which are velocity and acceleration. We create an ODE function in Python that takes in time as state as input and outputs the derivatives of our states. We also have the Runge-Kutta for solver. We create a Runge-Kutta for function that as inputs takes in an ODE function, which in this case is a literal Python function as an input, the simulation time, the current state, which here is y, and the step size to use, which is h here. This function then outputs its prediction of what the new state will be at the next time, given all this information that is passed in. So given the current state, y, that it's passed in, it's going to output the next state, which the next state is going to be position and velocity. We then propagate each step until we get the end of our simulation in a for loop using this Runge-Kutta for step function. So now going to the Github repository, if you go to the main page, src, FUM04 orbit propagation, we'll start with a circular orbit, no AWP, where in this script, I have everything that you need inside of the script. So the two-body ODE function is right here. The RK4 step function is right there. And then all the variables that you need, like Earth radius and Earth mu, are all in here. So you can run this just by itself without doing anything else. You could literally copy and paste this and plug it into your own computer and run it. So here's an example of how to run this script. If you start from the root of the repository, you go cd src FUM04 orbit propagation. You'll see there's a few scripts in here, but you should be able to run just Python 3 circular orbit no awp.py. You should be able to run that straight through. It's going to print out all the states and then come out with this plot right here showing a very first case of a circular orbit. And I encourage you to go into the script and experiment with this initial state vector, because in this case, it's just defined as a circular orbit where we have the initial position in the x direction and the initial velocity in the y direction. But again, encourage you to experiment. Say, what happens if you add 2 kilometers per second in the z direction? And in this case, it'll increase the inclination. So instead of being equatorial, again, it'll increase the period. And you'll see we'll have a little bit of inclination there with respect to the XY axes. And then say, what if we add a little bit more, like 4 kilometers per second in the Z direction? What kind of results can we expect to see? We can expect to see that the semi-major axis of this orbit has increased a lot, so it didn't get to a full period. And again, its inclination has increased by quite a bit. So I encourage you to, again, experiment with the script a bit. So please let me know if there's anything confusing about this video, because I'm thinking about making a follow-up video on this one, because I think this is a really important concept to understand. Solving the second order differential equation functions using a first order ODE solver, I think it is really fundamental understanding that is important to go on into the future of propagating more complex orbits. So please let me know if you have any questions about it, anything I should clarify. And again, I can just make another video on this before moving on to the Keplerian orbital elements. So please like and subscribe to stay up to date with all the new videos coming out. And again, there's a space engineering podcast on this channel and a whole bunch of different series, including rocket trajectories. And the next video in the orbital mechanics with Python series is going to be for V-infinity matching in order to calculate gravity assist trajectories. So again, let me know any questions in the comments, and thank you for watching.